Hello, my name is Maya Barber, and I'm your host for this episode of the College and Career Readiness Podcast. Today we are joined by our special guest, Javier, the admissions counselor from the Sacramento State University. Before we start our interview, remember to take control of your future, join the California Army National Guard, and serve your community during local and state emergencies. You'll learn marketable skills, earn a paycheck, and get money for school. Contact Sergeant Aquino today at 916-233-7615. Okay, now for our starter questions. What do you love about the school you are representing?
Right into it, huh? The thing that I like the most about the school that I'm representing, I'm an alumni from there, so I just graduated this last May 2019. Oh, wow. So, the thing that I love the most, and I still love the most, is when I took a tour when I was in high school. I stepped off the bus, and I'm from about 2 hours away from here in the Central Valley, and I stepped off the bus, and the first thing I saw was like a group of five, college students that looked like me, that weren't from where I was from, and, every other college that I went to, looked, quite the opposite of what I look like. So, it's good to know that, we have Hispanic population growing, or an Asian American Pacific Islander population, or a black student population that's growing at Sac State, because that's, different cultures, races, ethnicities, and experiences from all across California and all across the country that are coming to Sac State. So I think that's the thing that I like the most about it. It's, people that look like you, and also in combination with people who you've never seen before, or, who look exactly opposite from you. It's a nice combination of everybody.
That's
I think that's the thing I love the most.
Mm-hmm. What sets you apart from the other schools?
We're the Capital University. I think, we have a little bit something for everyone. We have, as far as majors, we have like all the big ones: business administration, nursing, psychology, all those different majors. But, we also have, faculty members and professors and staff members like myself who are willing to, go the extra mile for students and even prospective students. Like, the populations of students that, I reach out to in admissions and outreach, they're not even students at Sac State yet. So we'll go that extra mile for people who, they could come to Sac State, they could not go to Sac State, but, we're embracing a college experience, and, we're not going to force kids to stay at Sac State if they don't want to. If they do a year at Sac State and, want to go to a community college and want to transfer back home to somewhere in LA, or want to go out of the state, or, even out of the country, we'll support them every step of the way. We're not focusing on, our school numbers first. We're focusing on the students first. So I think that's what sets us apart.
Great.
Yeah.
Now to academics and applications, what is some key advice you would give to freshman applicants?
I think the one of the things that a lot of freshman applicants kind of struggle with on the Cal State Apply application is like, listing things that they're not exactly super proud of. So if they got like a D in a class, they're like, man, I don't want to list that D on the application. I'm like, no, you got to list the D on the application as part of your GPA. You can't just intentionally, or like if they're like, oh man, I didn't do too good on the SAT the first time, but I retook it. I'm like, you got to list it on there, man. Like, we're not going to judge you for, doing bad. When you get to college, you start clean as long as you get accepted into the university. So I think that's, the biggest piece of advice that I can give. Just list everything, even if you're embarrassed of it. Just list it just to be safe, because, we'll get track of everything: unofficial transcripts, SAT scores from College Board, ACT scores, any AP or IB. We'll keep track of it. And if something doesn't match up, we'll reach out to you and be like, you got to list it. Yeah. So that's my biggest piece of advice. Even if you're embarrassed, just list it and reach out, to people like me that'll help you.
Great advice. What programs are your school known for? What's the acceptance rate for these programs?
As far as like major programs?
Major program.
Yeah. So, like I said, the three big dogs at Sac State is nursing, business administration, and I'd say criminal justice and psychology. We'll take nursing, for example. Everybody wants to come into the CSU and be a nurse, and, UC programs don't necessarily offer nursing programs, so everybody comes to the CSU to do that. And, we're one of the major CSUs in Northern California, besides like Chico and San Francisco State. That's us in Northern California. So, we'll have about maybe like 500 applications for, to get into the nursing program, and we'll only accept about 90 of those. So you can do that math in your head.
Yeah.
That's not a lot, but that's in those impacted programs. Are what we're known for. So business administration, that's top dog. That's at Sac State. So everybody wants to come in and do nursing or business administration, but there's only so much space for those people, and not everybody can be those majors. So it's a little bit more competitive, but we work with y'all, and that's one of those things that I just mentioned in the last question. Just ask for help, list everything, be honest and transparent about everything, and What was the other part of that question?
What's the acceptance rate for these programs?
Oh yeah, so. That's always a tough question, because you want to encourage students, like, if you want to do nursing, but like only 80 out of the 500 are going to get accepted. You got to be selective with it. Like, if you got somebody who's like, oh, I want to be a nurse, but kind of not really, they're probably not going to get accepted into the program, versus somebody who's like, I know I want to do this, I'm ready to 100% tackle this, then they're probably going to get into the program. But even then, sometimes people don't get in. They think they put their all into an exam, but they get a D on the exam and they fail the class. So it's always like a tough push and pull relationship with these programs. But they're pretty impacted as far as numbers to get in, but not all programs are like that. I'd say, especially for like criminal justice, if you complete all the requirements, kind of like Sac State, if you complete all the requirements, like the classes, pass them with a specific grade, they're going to accept everybody.
Oh, okay.
Versus with programs like nursing, they're only going to take like the top 20%. Even if you do meet the requirements, they can only accept so many. So some programs are more impacted than others, but they all have their own unique numbers that I don't know off the top of my head right now. But I just know nursing. I have that conversation like every day. I meet at least like 4 or 5 students every single day. Like, oh, I want to do nursing at Sac State. I'm like, do you really want to do nursing, or is that just something you saw off of Grey's Anatomy or something like that?
Yeah.
So yeah.
What is the tuition?
Tuition rates at Sac State is $3,768 for 1 year, and these are the 2019-2020 prices. So the prices that are right now, but those are changed by a couple dollars every single year. So that's about $3,600 per semester.
Oh, okay.
And so that's a fall semester and a spring semester. So that doesn't include summer school or like winter school or something like that. But it's about $3,600, $7,000 per semester.
Okay,
Yeah.
great to know. Does your school follow the A through G requirements, and does it require anything above that?
Can you repeat that question?
Does your school follow the A through G requirements, and does it require anything beyond that?
Yeah, so all the CSUs have the same requirements. So you have to complete the A through G requirements, which is like the high school mathematics and English, language other than English. You also have to take either the SAT or the ACT. You don't have to take them both. Some people take them both, but I'm like, I was that kind of an overachiever in high school. So you only need to take the SAT or the ACT, and you have to get a certain grade, and you have to meet the minimum GPA as well. The minimum GPA to apply is a 2.0, and that's for every single school. And then those are basically the requirements to get in. And every single school, they don't just look at your GPA, or they don't just look at your SAT scores, or they don't just look at your A through G requirements. They use what's called an eligibility index. So this is like an equation that every school is unique. They have their own specific equation, but where they basically take into consideration your GPA, your SAT, or your ACT, and they put those into like this equation, like, hey, Javier, you are eligible to come to Sac State, or hey, Javier, you are not eligible to come to Sac State. So it's not just GPAs or A through Gs or SAT scores. It's that eligibility index that every school is unique for. But I'm not going to talk about equations right here. That's kind of boring. So yeah, it's unique to every school though.
Great. Are there any programs that provide additional assistance to undocumented students?
Yeah, so we have the Dreamer Resource Center at Sac State. So that's for, DACA recipients who are non-residents or undocumented students who, come in, and we could help them out, get, legal counseling for them and their families if they're facing, some immigration issues with like, ICE or something like that, or if, they need help, filling out scholarships or applying for federal aid, because, undocumented students can't get financial aid because that's for only, California residents and actual U.S. citizens. So we'll help them fill out, waivers and paperwork. We'll give them specific advising, specific people that they should talk to on campus, because, a lot of times undocumented students come into the university and they're like, I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to be here because what if I can't get a job after because of my legal status? So, we'll help them, get jobs in the Sacramento community. And yeah, we do got stuff like the Dreamer Resource Center, and almost every single CSU has something like that as well, specifically for undocumented students on campus.
That's a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Do you offer merit-based scholarships?
As far as like by merit-based, do you mean like, as far as like how well you do in classes or?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, so we do offer merit-based scholarships. Those are usually like the privately funded scholarships and stuff like that. So, every single scholarship that you apply to is going to have some sort of basic requirement, like you need to have at least a 3.0 GPA, you need to be a nursing major, you need to be of African-American descent. So these are like the basic requirements that you'll need to fill out scholarships. But we also have scholarships that's like, you need to complete your statistics class with a C or better in order to apply to the scholarship or something like that. So we'll have specific scholarships for different academic levels of like how well you do in college, but every single one is unique. But also my piece of advice to that is even if you don't think you're eligible, still apply, because there's like over 2,000 scholarship opportunities at Sac State specifically. They're not going to get 200 applications because that requires like extra work and extra writing and stuff like that. So, they could have the scholarship for like $2,000 and nobody applies to it but you.
Yeah.
I'm not African American and I don't meet the GPA requirements, but I'm the only one who applied, so they're probably going to give it to me. So, apply to everything, even if you don't think you're eligible. Just apply if you got the opportunity and the time to.
Do you offer any internship programs to give your students a chance to make these connections?
Yeah, so the really cool thing about the CSU system is in general is we're really focused on like hands-on, things that you'll learn in class and job placement after you graduate. So the way we do that, I'll take the social work major, for example. That's like working in like the CPS system and child protective services and stuff like that. The entire senior year in the social work system, you are at an internship the entire last year. So instead of being in a classroom, you're working the entire last year. So, the employment rates for social work majors very high because they already got an in once they're already in the program at Sac State. So a lot of our programs are like that. Like in nursing, you'll probably have a placement at like a clinic or a hospital somewhere. In biology, you'll probably have a research opportunity somewhere. In sociology, I had an opportunity to go out of state during like summer or, in the winter to go do sociological and psychological research at different institutions and stuff like that. So, sometimes there are internship opportunities embedded within your major program, and sometimes you can just go to the Career Center and be like, hey, what kind of internships are there for me if I want to go work for the National Guard or if I want to go work for a university, what can I do? So we got a lot.
Oh, that's great to know. Does your school offer sports scholarships?
Yeah, we do. Sac State's a Division I school. We compete in the Big West and Big Sky conferences as far as like track field, basketball, volleyball, football, stuff like that. So we do offer, scholarships. We offer full ride scholarships as well. Those are pretty rare, but we'll offer like partial scholarships to where like, hey, we'll usually recruit people from like Southern California. Like, hey, if you come to school at Sac State, we'll pay your housing, we'll pay like half your tuition. So, we'll offer partial, scholarships like that. But, our full ride scholarships are pretty rare. And a lot of times we offer those to like, out-of-state students because they obviously pay more tuition. So, but there are, Division I scholarship opportunities available. But that's Division I sports. Those are terrifying. So, yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Do you offer any study abroad programs?
Yeah, we do. I think we have, I always get the numbers mixed up. We have 11 or 14, somewhere between there, study abroad programs. And I, personally know a couple people who like went to Florence, Italy for like 2 years, or went to Okinawa, Japan for like a year to go study abroad over there. And the really cool thing about those study abroad programs is so you're obviously going over there to go to school. Yeah. So when you go over there to go to school, those classes that you're taking over there, you can still apply those to classes right here. So they're equivalent. So you're not everybody's like, oh, I don't want to study abroad because I don't want to waste a year and stay here an extra year. Like, no, you're not doing that. Those classes that you're taking over there are the same classes that you would take here. You're just taking them in a different country. And
different experience.
Yeah, exactly. A different experience, a different classroom experience. So, you're only in class for a specific amount of time. It's not like high school where you're here from like 7 to 4 every day. You can pick your schedule, and that's the same idea, study abroad. So when you're not in class abroad, you can go explore the country that you're in. And, I know people who went to Germany or like Italy or Japan, or, somebody was in Scotland that I saw on Instagram. I'm like, wow. Whoa, you're studying abroad in Scotland now? Okay, that's cool. So, they're super cool programs that a lot of people, want to get interested. But, those are also, I don't want to say those are impacted as well, but they can only allow so many people to study abroad, every single year. We have contracts with, okay, you could have these many people study abroad in this program. So everybody always wants to go to like Italy or Japan. So those are the very big, most popular ones that people want to do. But yeah, we do have those at Sac State.
Okay, now to campus life. What are some non-athletic clubs on your campus?
The one that I always like say in presentations, like underwater basket weaving, like just the concept of that is just so weird and crazy. We also have like a Quidditch club. Y'all remember like the Harry Potter movies from that's a club at Sac State that like, they're like literally on broomsticks. Somebody has like a golden ball that they're trying to catch. Like that's straight up a club at Sac State. And there's also like, Greek life too, like you see in the movies, like fraternities and sororities as well. So if you want to be part of the brotherhood or something like that, if you want to do that, you can do that at Sac State and, be a part of, sororities as well. And there's also, specific clubs for, different, races and ethnicities. Like there's Chicano and Chicana club for, people who want to be a part of that culture. There's also a Black student union. And, the really cool thing about these clubs is they're not only limited to people of that race and ethnicity, they're open to everybody. And that's actually like a law in California. Like if I, wanted to join the Asian American Pacific Islander Club, they can't legally say I can't because I'm not Asian American or Pacific Islander. So they're just open to people who want to embrace that culture on that campus. So, if you want to be a part of that, meet people who share the same interests as you, they also have cultural clubs like that at Sac State. So literally everything that you can think about, probably at Sac State. And if there isn't something that you want to do, you just need you and 5 other friends. Mm-hmm. Just like the Harry Potter Quidditch Club. They just came together and made a club, and that's still going strong today. I still see them practice out, in the library quad like every other day. I'm like, y'all are dedicated. This has been like 10 years. Like, I respect it, dude. But yeah, everything at Sac State, we got a lot.
That's great. How is the surrounding city? Is it urban or suburban, or kind of both?
Sacramento is huge.
Yeah.
So I'd say, we're only about 4 miles away from downtown. So literally like a short bike ride away from the Golden One Center where the Sacramento Kings play. So I'd say the part of the city that we're in, it's like a suburban, urban area. So, we're right next to the freeway that leads into downtown. So, it's very easy. Like if you got a Sacramento Kings game to go to right after class, you can be there in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're kind of in the mix. We're in the eastern portion of Sacramento. So, there's a lot of things that you can, get involved with as far as like, going and enjoying nightlife in like downtown and midtown. And I'd say it's like an urban, suburban area. But yeah, but we're right in the middle of the city. So I think that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. What activities are there to do outside of the campus? I think you kind of covered that a little bit.
Yeah, I think I kind of covered that a little bit as far as like clubs and organizations. Mm-hmm. There's, just a lot too. There's also like intramural sports at Sac State as well. So if you don't want to play like Division I volleyball, like I don't have any hand-eye coordination. So if you want to play like indoor soccer, or like we got like wheelchair basketball, or like ultimate frisbee, or we have like an intramural golf club, or we have like an intramural water polo club. Something that you just get together with friends and not try to like,
as competitive.
Yeah, like not trying to like destroy each other in like a Division I game. If you just want like a friendly little intramural, back and forth, you can do that as well. And those are, free as well. You don't need to pay for those.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, those are pretty cool.
How many students would you say attend your school?
We just ran numbers this last year. We had over 32,000 students on our campus. So that includes like, undergraduate students going for the bachelor's. This also includes like master's students and doctoral students as well. So, We have a mile-long campus from the far north side to the far south side. 32,000 students. That's like 15,000 more people than is even in my hometown. So that's a lot of people. So I had a big culture shock when I came here, because at any given day during the week there could be 32,000 people on your campus. So that doesn't even take into consideration like professors, instructors, custodians, faculty, front desk attendants. It's a lot of people. It's like a little city, or a big city inside of a small campus. So it's 32,000 students on campus. So that includes everybody who's enrolled in classes. That's actually, so it's pretty cool.
Now to demographics. What is your student to staff ratio?
The student to staff ratio, it's one professor to every 27 students, and the average class size is about 33 students. So it's very similar to like what you would experience in high school. You're not going to show up and there's going to be 150 other people in classes. Some classes will be like that. Maybe like 1 out of 5 classes will be like that, but most classes are going to be very similar to what you have in high school. You're going to show up. You can know your professor or your instructor on a name to name basis. You're not going to get stranded in a sea of people when you're walking in. So it's pretty, close knit and a community feel in every class.
Diversity is a big part for many students deciding what college to go to. And with that being said, what ethnic groups are represented at your campus?
Yeah, that's a great question. As far as I know, the leading ethnic group, we're a Hispanic serving institution, which means that about 30% of all of our student populations are of Hispanic or Latino or Latina descent. The next percentage is white with 26%. The next percentage is Asian or Pacific Islander with about 21%, and the next is African American students with about 9%, I believe. So the numbers are a little out of whack, and I would love to be in a world where those were all equal, but that's just not the case a lot of the times. But those are the 4 main ethnicities. But those numbers don't always take into consideration people who are like biracial or something like that. So if they're like Asian and black at the same time, you can only pick one on those. So that's a problem in and of itself. So there's a little bit of a gray area, but those are the numbers. So majority Hispanic population.
Lastly, how can I get more information, and do you guys have a social media account or email to contact?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our website, we actually just got a revamp of the website, so everything looks completely different. So if you've looked at Sac State website a year ago today, it looks completely different to now. So it's good and bad, because I got to get used to the website too. But if you just Google Sac State admissions, that'll give you the website. It'll say like, what's the process for me if I've been admitted or if I have applied, meet the team, meet the counselors, or stuff like that. So you can get all of our information. And you can do that for every single school as well. If you want to talk to a specific counselor like myself from Chico State or San Francisco State or Cal Poly SLO, there's people like me all across California. So just do that. And as far as social medias, almost every single CSU is certified, or not certified, verified on like social media accounts like Instagram or Facebook. So recommend everybody for every single school that you apply to, follow them on social media right now, Instagram or something like that. See what's going on campus, because they don't only make those communities for current students, they make it for prospective students as well. So if you want to see an Instagram live video of the football game, you can follow them and you can see that. So highly recommend something like that too.
Thank you for participating on our podcast. We appreciate your time and support.
Thank you.
Thank you.